The Dooley, the Beantown Ghetto Shaman. Um, yeah, where should I start, man? Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna turn this music a little bit. I'm playing in the background. It's by Lama G. I forget his name. Gyume, something like that. But yeah, good vibes with the medicine Buddha chant and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to do a quick video because I have some things, some errands I have to run. But I want ceremony that I attended this past Saturday, and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing within from the Boston area, but I travel in different things. Been going back and forth to New York every Wednesday and Thursday. Good crowd of people that's been amazing. And before I even start, let me give a shout out to my good friend Sunny Ray, Sister Sunny Ray. We're gonna be doing a event. I don't know if y'all can see this flyer here. It's kind of small, but it's gonna be in Mexico, and it's going to be on the dates of December 1st to December 5th. All right. We got a lot of great people that's going to be a part of it. You got here, read off of the flyer here. Got Sunny Ray, who's dealing with ethogenic yoga. We got Melon and Dawn, who's a great herbalist. She's going to be bringing in a lot of great work. Sister Lana, who's going to be doing some great work as well. Got a whole bunch of folk on here. Equani, I know as Jocelyn, I'm still be messing up her new name, but she's gonna be there. The whole family's gonna be in there, and may read on the back here. We're gonna have ethogenic yoga, meditation, yoga, nidra, Nidra. Just been, so one of the sisters been telling me about it, but it's more dealing with somatic movement and release, group Reiki and meditation, beach fire, sacred dance. Gonna have also sacred plant animal medicine, offerings and ceremony, qigong, psychic surgery, and much more. So for those who are interested, get at me. It's going to be in Oaxaca, Mexico, December 1st to the 5th. And if you want to register or be a part of this experience, go to www.mysoulishineyoga.org. Again, that's www.mysoulishineyoga.org. All right. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to be there teaching, doing some yoga for people to generate your life force energy, psychic surgery, and much more for the people. But let's get straight to the point. We're going to be talking about Wachuma, sacred cactus medicine. The cactus medicine, also known as San Pedro, the keys to Saint Peter. All right, it's called San Pedro by the Christians that came and encountered the cactus so many years ago by the native indigenous people, and when they experienced San Pedro or Wachuma, they were amazed by the medicine. But its true name is Wachuma, and it's a masculine energy. Some of these medicines have an actual energetic signature to them. Like Mama Ayahuasca is considered to be a very feminine medicine. She's called the mother. On the other hand, with San Pedro, it's grandfather medicine. It has a very masculine presence to it. And when I was talking to one of the shamans there at the ceremony, she was saying that yes, even preparing this medicine traditionally was only prepared by men, you know, has a very energy about it where it's very firm. It's very firm with you, doesn't play around, and it reveals things to you that need to be revealed. So I had the opportunity to go to this ceremony. Big up to brother Hank Rice and son, Uncle Hank, who told me about this great couple. And also Steve, who also, big up to Steve, who told me about this great couple that's been doing Wachuma ceremonies for years. And it's brother Oswell and his wonderful wife, Joanne, and I was able to sit in their ceremony, and it was beautiful. First of all, they gave us these big cups to drink the wachuma, and usually one big cup is good, but I end up taking 3 cups of the medicine. And I remember Sister Joanne was saying after I had my second cup, was like, "You sure you want to do third?" I was like, "Yes." She looked at her husband. He's like, we give it to him. It's like, yeah. Brother man seen something with me which was like, yep, he's ready. And I wanted to honor the tradition and go deep within this medicine. That's why I choose to even take a third cup. There was a lot. There was a lot that happened that day. That night we started around 8 and didn't stop until about the morning, the rising when the sun was coming up. And there was a firekeeper there. Big up to the firekeeper, man. He was representing and was keeping that fire, and the way the fire was reacting to everyone's experience was deep. It was interesting because they said for us we needed to let go, just throw it in the fire, even if it was mentally, to throw the things that no longer served us into that fire. And every time I even thought about things that needed to be let go, you would see the fire raise even higher. It was magical. It was powerful. I remember my legs were shaking uncontrollably, at a certain point in the ceremony. And it felt like literally like I was feeling what everyone was feeling, their release. So the most horrific things I was seeing in my mind's eyes, my mind eye. And it had to do a lot with all as a collective, the purging that people were going through. So as my legs were shaking, I felt all this release, these negative thought forms, all these things going into the earth to be transmuted. And it was powerful, I mean, from things of war, from things of child trafficking, from things of molestation, of things of ancestral trauma, all these things I was feeling as a collective in that circle, but also collective as the planet itself felt like it was just going into the earth, going into the earth, going into the earth to be transmuted. And it was deep because at the end of the ceremony, when we was all sharing our experiences, there was one guy that was there, and I guess he sat in other Wachuma ceremonies before, and he kept on saying that there was black magic going on. There was black magic going on. This negativity that was going on, that was not even from this planet. And he was very disturbed at what he was feeling, what he was seeing. And I had to tell him when it was my turn to speak, was to say that I felt what you felt, I seen what you seen, brother. And that this was a collective, not just for this circle, but for the planet. The consciousness, the human consciousness as a whole was purging. We was purging for people, you know? And I told him, don't give in to the power of that fear, of that negativity, because that's what they feed off of. I was telling him that on this path, when you're dealing with this type of work, it's not always going to be rosy and fairy like and bubbles and all these different unicorns. You know what I mean? There's times on this plant medicine journey that yes, there's beautiful things, angelic things that come up, beautiful, blissful, but also there's that dark night of the soul. That's that shadow work that comes up for people, and that work is greatly needed. If any of us are going to make any leadways within our own personal growth and on our personal path, then we have to be able to look at that shadow work and not be afraid of it, and authentically let it go when it comes up. For myself, some of the things that I had to let go had to deal with my childhood. You know, there was a point in my journey where I seen myself as a young baby. You know, I had to be maybe, I don't know, about 5 months, 6 months, years old or so, and I seen myself laying on a bed or somewhere, and I sense the loneliness from such an early age, at that age as a baby, of a level of abandonment, you know, because I didn't grow up with my mother. My mother was considered schizophrenic. But later in the years, I understood what was really going on with my mother. A lot of people that have spiritual awakenings and do not have a teacher or the support to show them what's going on with them, a lot of times they're labeled with these labels of being bipolar or being schizophrenic or what have you. Some people do have a chemical imbalance, don't get me wrong. But in the case of my mother, I seen from a very young age that my mother was a very awakened person, you know, and the things that would come out of my mother's mouth were profound. You know, it was like the ancient ones were speaking through her, you know, at moments. The things, the wisdom that would come out my mother's mouth. But also, I seen times where there were dark forces, negative forces that would get a hold of her, and I would see my mother's eyes change literally. And as a child, that would scare me a lot, you know. But that was brought back to me during the Wachuma ceremony, where I was able to witness this level of sadness as a young baby, feeling having abandonment issues. And that was very clear to me within the Wachuma ceremony on how I was always searching for someone to nurture me. You know what I mean? Even as a grown man, going seeking women out that was basically unconsciously looking for my mother. You know what I mean? And a lot of times that type of behavior led me to being promiscuous, being dealing with certain women I didn't need to be dealing with, you know, because I was in nurturing myself, learning to love myself, you know, and all that was being thrown into the fire, being let go. And it was profound, you know. Also, that's something that was very profound during the ceremony was the singing, the chants, the sacred songs. You know, brother Shaman Oswell was singing. There were moments because we gave offerings to the sacred four directions and all the elements, and there was times where Oswell was speaking upon the sacred fire, the fire that burns away illusion, you know? And then there was moments where he talked about the water. And I swear to God, when he was talking about the water, it seemed like everyone had to go to the bathroom. All of a sudden, the water, but it was the appreciation, the real appreciation for life, and how brother Oswald was saying how much he loved his family, how much he loved his friends, and how grateful he was. This was a medicine that was teaching all of us about how to be grateful, you know, how to be grateful. and how Great Spirit has blessed us with this thing called life, and how a lot of times we take these things for granted. So to witness all these things and to be a part of that whole experience allowed me to even walk away from that ceremony, even as a better and stronger man. To see such strong men there, and that reminder of what it means to be a good father, what it means to be a good man, a protector, one that's here for our greater community. Because his wife, um, Joanne, was talking about some of her roots in Haiti, and she said at one point during the ceremony how she said for her ancestors in Haiti, all the trials and tribulations they have been going through, to send love to her people. And during that time, I felt the atrocities of indigenous people, the things that we've gone through on this planet. Tears coming down my eyes because within letting go of this pain also was a place of also knowing forgiveness, you know? And I seen the great prophecy that there will become a time where all races will come together. Peace for not only this planet, but for the cosmos, you know? And the only way we can really do this is by each and every individual taking this path serious. And it's not easy. It's not easy to deal with the trauma sometimes, not even on an individual level, but even on an ancestral level. It's not easy. It's like it reminds me of it's not easy, but it's great, rewarding work. I remember it was a brother that I remember I did a video with him. We got cut off. Brother Brian, who came up from Maryland to come see me to do some healing work, and he was dealing with the iboga and how he did a testimony. He shared his testimony of being able to contact his great great grandfather, and how his great grandfather, who he's never met, great great grandfather, introduced himself, told him his name and all that. He said his name was Charles. And after his experience, he was able to come and talk to his mother and talk to his great aunt about this elder, this ancestor that he met. And his mother and his great aunt was blown away because they were saying, "How did you know this information about Charles? You've never met him, and how did you know all this information that he told you?" Were so blown away by his experience that they end up going to Costa Rica to sit with iboga. And iboga is a great medicine from which deals with helping with addiction. Someone's making a comment here. Excuse me. It says, how do you put the comment here? Come on, how you? Well, I don't know. The comment just disappeared, but I'll try to come back to it later. But iboga is very well known to help with addiction, and also is considered to be a time travel plant. It's actually a root, and very good for connecting with your ancestors. Yeah, you know. But this is the work. I mean, we're not even doing work just for ourselves. We're doing work for our personal ancestors. Because as soon as you work on yourself, you're changing it was deep. And of course there was the moments where, again, the purging that would happen, and I would sense all of a sudden a helicopter would come out of nowhere, or a motorcycle far in the distance you would hear. And again, it was that vibration of trying to keep that fear there. I seen the images of some of the so-called elite, and all the things that they're trying to do behind closed doors. And I seen all that go into the earth. There always been a constant battle going on. But The prophecies is that it will end during this age, you know, and we have to keep on doing the work. And like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy looking at your pain sometimes, but it's well worth it. And we all have a birthright to be happy, to be at peace, you know, to live in harmony, you know. We know that waking up every day and we're seeing the state of the world, the how there's a disrespect for this planet, for nature, for the animal kingdom, for the all things that are here with us. And it's time for us to make a change. You know, we have to be mindful of what we're consuming. You know, and I've seen that even with my purge, the different music, the different things that I even watch. You know, there's a time that you will get in your own personal develop where you just don't entertain certain things anymore. You know, there was points where I was feeling lonely, and you know, so ceremony I felt much more lighter, much more clearer, and much more focused. And you know, the Wachuma is a great medicine. I encourage people, if they've never experienced the sacred cactus, that is definitely something, if you're ready for it, to look into. And Oswald and Joanne, they're in the New Jersey area. Definitely, you know, when I finish this video, if there's a way for me to put in their information, I don't have the information on me right now, but you know, definitely I can say without a shadow of a doubt that they're great at working with the Wachuma, you know, and that they're great people to sit down with and share this medicine with, you know. They actually invited me to go to Peru and Ecuador and meet some of their teachers and stuff. And I'm just seeing how the path is opening more and more for me as I'm doing more of my inner work for me to take my healing abilities further, you know? So, yeah, I mean, hold on, let me see if I could still get this chat here. Okay, yeah, I see something here. If someone says, makes sense, it's a heart opener. Best way to heal the heart is to forgive your parents. That is very true. You know, you know, what Truma deals with the heart, it deals with the heart chakra. It's a heart chakra medicine. And again, you know, from many traditions, they say, especially when in my early 2000s, when I was studying Tibetan Buddhism, they tell you that we pick our parents, you know, we pick our parents, you know, before we even incarnate here. And I know that might be hard for some people, especially somebody says something here. Yo, just met the brother. He told me about that story. Okay, that's what's up. You know, for some people that especially come from a background of a lot of abuse and different things like that. But, you know, when we look at our soul contracts and we look at certain things that allow us to take our evolution to the next step before we even incarnate here in this dimension, we make a list of things that we want to work on to improve ourselves, you know? So they say we pick our parents. And especially being a parent myself, and any parent out there would tell you there's no manual to parenting. And especially if you come from parents that have their own trauma and are not willing to look at themselves or work on themselves, things get tricky, you know? So I look at my how I was in my early 20s or whatever age I was going through a lot of things and still going through things. And I try to be more compassionate from looking at myself to be able to have more a little compassion for my own parents. You know what I mean? Somebody else just made a comment. Okay, finally got this thing working. Most definitely, it's not easy looking at pain. Our pain can be the greatest asset. Hold on. It says, can be our greatest asset. We can use it to heal, forgive, and create divine love. That's what's up. That's what's up, Rashona. Yeah. So, and that has come into my life. And we're blessed to be able to have people to come into our life and help us on our journey. You know, big up to her. Look her up, BK Crypto. She's a great financial advisor, teaching people about financial literacy. And yeah, check her out. We have, because I talked to somebody about this last night. This whole false concept about the poor righteous teacher. Got to throw that out the door. You know, having abundance and having wealth has nothing to do with not being spiritual. There's been many people in history that held wealth and were able to know how to just pass it along in a way that could be beneficial for the world. You know, I think of people like King Ashoka, for instance, which was a great king in India. And I believe he was the first one on record opening up a veterinarian, caring for the animals, you know. I think of even people along the lines that were able to have wealth and know how to use it and uplift their people, you know? So imagine more conscious people having wealth and being able to distribute it in a way where it can help build more schools, help more programs for the children, help open up things for people who want to learn more about healing and stuff. And just being able to have wealth to be able to travel and learn and explore this earth, you know? I met a guy at the ceremony, and he was from, I think he was from Poland, yeah. And he was telling me his story, you know, and telling me how his journey was, and this guy, he came from a place where he didn't have wealth, where his parents, actually, his father wasn't in the picture, and his mother gave him up for adoption, him and his siblings, and they would go from one place to the next, and they didn't have food. So a lot of times they were very sick. Him and his brother, one of his brothers died because the malnourishment that was going on with him. And this man ended up becoming addicted to hardcore drugs as he got older and was going through a lot of things because of the trauma of him, how he grew up. But at one point, when he was in prison, he woke up and one and, and you know, and he told me, he says, as you grow, Dooley, you're going to have to have have different friends and people who have the same vision as you, really being loyal to. Share this real quick. Got in. So I have some things I have to do, some errands I have to run to, but I just wanted to share about briefly, brother, was going. You know, then there was a point to see that he wanted change in his life, that we want you to put out an area, come get at us on that. And on Thursdays,